Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. I know some of you are like, what? The channel? How'd I get here? Well, you are on my channel, Courage Over Fear, and today we get into a episode and an experience. You're kind of stepping into an experience. I'm sharing with you day 4 of our self-care challenge, and the topic was release and let go. To think about it, to like run through all the steps in my head. So you are gonna enter into that space. That's going to feel a little bit different because it wasn't set up as an episode. This was really the experience. So you get to walk through the activities with us, see what it is that we did, get a little bit of the voices in the room. And then I'll kind of wrap it up and close it for you guys at the end, right? So, welcome into the space. Let's talk about how hard it is to let go of things and the value of doing that, especially as women of color, and what happens when we don't, and what it means for us, what it means for us emotionally, physically, in terms of our dreams and our purpose. We've got to talk about these things. We've got to show up and deal with all the parts of us, all the layers of us. I want you to have the tools to be successful. And today, the tool is about letting go. Are you ready? Yeah, you are. Let's do it. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome back to Raise Your Vibration, the self-care challenge for Black and Brown women. Today concludes 4 amazing days of connecting, learning, being very intentional as a community, right? It's been great to look at this concept of self-care, and I think with a different lens. We've really been peeling back the layers, and I'm honored to share a bit more with you today. My name is Amanda Flood, and I'm a mindset coach for minority women, a wellness consultant, speaker, coach, and I just love curating events for women, especially women of color. And I'm actually looking for a few spaces to come in as a speaker or facilitator, do some workshops, panel discussions, etc. If you see me, or if you feel like you can see me at your job or organization, please reach out. I would love to connect with you if you could see something like this coming to wherever it is you guys exist, wherever you work, wherever you connect. My email is amanda@amandaflood.com, and I am on all the different platforms, including like LinkedIn, Instagram, all of that good stuff, right? So far this has been really just such a good time, and it's really just exceeded my expectations, and hearing how it's resonated with you guys is really encouragement for me to really keep doing this work, because it takes a little bit to put some of this stuff together. This is day 4 of the challenge, and this is some of what we've done so far. Day 1, we had an amazing panel of guests. We had Katuja Gray, Jesse Chiang, Sharon Randall, and Whitney Knox, who really helped us understand how to protect our peace, our energy, identity, and purpose. Day 2, permission to take up space. We looked at why that might be uncomfortable and how to do that emotionally and physically. And you all wrote out your permission slips. To me, that was just a powerful exercise. And hopefully you guys are keeping that permission slip visible so you can see it and keep working on it. Day 3, we added to it and looked at disrupting the inner mean girl. I think this one was also one of my favorites. I think what did it for me was the picture of the little girl dancing and the woman kind of standing there protecting her. And I just see all of you guys being in that intentional space of protecting you and protecting your goals and your dreams and all the things that you want. I think day 3 allowed us to look at how to show up for her, how to challenge our internal conversations. But as we talked, it was really nice to just hear the room come alive and the reframes that you guys had, and this idea of how we can also hold space for the inner mean girl, right? And we looked at also how to quiet that inner mean girl also with just noticing her, hanging out with her, trying to figure out why she came in the first place. Why is she here? Like we would, invite a friend in or get curious about them coming over. We looked at writing down what comes up in that space and then really making some decisions about it because not everything we believe is true. Now, tonight we get into release and recharge, and that's going to be the focus for day 4. But I want to stop here for a second too and just kind of pause for a second, really just even hold space for a second, because this has just been such a magical space. So I'm just happy for you guys and the time that you've committed to this and being here. So release and recharge. So before we even kind of get into this, I would like to do a mindfulness practice. And this one is pretty cool too. It's an I am practice. So if you're okay with that, we will get into that practice. I'm just going to walk you through it. So all you got to do is listen. I'm going to ask you if you can to close your eyes if you're comfortable, or you can just kind of look down. You don't have to close your eyes. That's okay. Whatever feels right to you. Okay. So just kind of settling into yourself. We'll take a big breath just to settle. So big breath in. And let that go. One more big breath in through your nose. And let that go. Beautiful. I'm going to ask you to take a moment to think of an I am statement that best represents you or that you need for this moment as you continue to grow. Like, I am brilliant. I'm doing the best that I can. I am a good person. I forgive myself. I'm worthy of forgiveness. I'm worthy of rest. I'm worthy of growth. I'm proud of myself. Find an I am that fits or that just comes alive in this moment for you. And now, whatever you come up with, I just want you to hold that in mind as I walk you through the rest of this practice. Again, with your eyes closed, sitting comfortably or gently looking down if you need to. Your feet are flat if you can manage that. And your back is that straight back, like that elevator rising up, like we've got us in confidence. We're holding us up. We're also not tense. Right, if you need to, you can gently roll your shoulders back and kind of drop it down to really open up your rib cage and feel yourself open up. Keep your heart open in that position. And taking another big breath in through your nose and releasing it through your mouth. Good. And on the next breath, let your entire body relax while still maintaining that straight back and open position. Big breath in. And exhale, relaxing your body and emptying your mind. Good. Now I just want you to continue to breathe. Breathe normally through your nose and bringing your I am to mind. So holding that statement in your mind. And for the next few breaths, we're going to count down together from 10 to 1. And at our 1, you're going to say your I am out loud. Remember, you guys are muted to hear you. So you can say your I am as loud as you need to, or as quiet as you need to, whatever works for you in your space. So you're going to inhale and say 10 in your mind. So inhale, exhale, and breathe out. Breathe in 9 and exhale. Breathe in 8 and exhale. In that space, I just want you to see yourself happy. See yourself in your mind present. See yourself loved, feeling good. And notice that for a second. Good. Now breathe in 7 and exhale. Breathe in 6 and exhale. Gently smile if that feels okay in this moment. Knowing how proud you are of you. Good. Breathing in 5 and exhale. Next breath is going to be from the pit of your stomach. So a big breath in and exhale. Good. Allowing your breathing to go deeper and slower. Breathing in for 3 and exhale. Good. Melting into that breath. Good. Breathing in for 2 and exhale. Good. Allowing that smile to appear again on your face as you feel the calmness enter your mind and flow through your body. And our final breath, breathing in and releasing your I am. Good. So one more, we're going to breathe in again, holding your I am. And exhale, saying your I am. I am brilliant. Good. One more big inhale, whatever your I am is, holding that I am, breathing in. And one more exhale and say your I am. Beautiful. Okay. How you doing? How you feeling? How is that exercise for you? Drop how you feel. I'm feeling like really calm. I got to get my energy back up. Because I got to get it to the end. How are you feeling after that practice? Peaceful. Whew. I love that. I love that we can be in an anxious space and then we can come right back down. Yeah, our body really wants to do that. It's when we don't have space to come back down that we stay in like that frantic kind of energy and frantic kind of space. So thank you both for those shares. And tonight is really about that too. It's about how do we get to that place of release? And sometimes it is just practices like this. And this is something you could do at your desk. I think for most of us, we're just holding so much. And that's what we're talking about today. Let's talk about why we hold on so tight and the anxiety and stress that it causes, and also the power of releasing control and the benefits to self-care. But that word control, that's a big one. Who struggles with control? I think you'll find that you are not alone. You are not the only one. A lot of us do. And control really represents fear, fear that things won't go as planned, that people will let us down, that things won't go right, or that we may really feel the weight of our responsibilities. We're worried about the weight of our responsibilities. We're worried about our expectations and our need to like constantly really prove ourselves in multiple domains, whether it's like work, as entrepreneurs, for our families, for our communities. We've got to show up in so many places in so many ways. And sometimes that generates a lot of fear for us, right? And whenever there's fear, there's always like this constriction happening. I think for us, especially as marginalized people, right, we deal with some realities too. And we have to grapple with the idea of power and privilege in this society, which isn't always balanced. It's still a problem for us in this country. And that creates an extra level of hypervigilance and over worry for us. Right. Today was 4 years since Ahmaud Arbery lost his life simply jogging, right? Because folks thought that he did something and they took his life. So if you can't be just doing something that simple, it creates a level of worry, right? For a while, a lot of folks were just worried running. I run. Going out is like, you don't want to have to be in that space, but it starts to create that. And we're also reminded of this fear and our level of worry and lack of control when we hear stories of women like Antoinette Bonnie Candidia Bailey, who I opened, but she was one of the pictures who took her life in relation to professional bullying. Like, can you imagine you're being bullied at work? And it could be very subtle. Sometimes it's very outright. We even experience it when we walk into spaces and it's like we feel like we don't belong. And I think The bigger events just remind us that we don't belong, but then there are those moments that are also really subtle too. So whether or not it's on purpose, whether or not it's intentional or not, it has an impact on us. So we've got these external factors, and then we've got our own like internal things that happen, and all of that can generate lots of different things for us, right? My mind goes to even something as simple as walking into like a professional training. I know I'm often one of the few. And the first thing that happens when I walk into the room is like I'm automatically counting the other people of color in the room and also where the exit is. And those are factors that I can't necessarily control, but it keeps me in this heightened state of awareness and worry. Whether or not I want to, it's become an automatic thing because it's like, well, where am I safe? Where can I sit? Who's this for? Who's teaching this? What's happening? All of that sits with us on a regular basis. So external factors like that and our own need for control can easily lead to this place of anxiety and stress. A lot of that you guys feel in your body. You talked about that before even coming into the space. You probably noticed the heaviness at times, especially in our shoulders. We carry a lot there too. Some of us have a lot of like physical things like gastrointestinal problems. Like mind and body is deeply connected, and stress will live in our body, just like trauma lives in our body. We can feel the overwhelm, we can feel the exhaustion, we can feel the burnout. I'm sure as I'm saying it, you're like, yeah, that's me. And those things are detrimental to us. And I think not just mentally, not just emotionally and physically, it's also detrimental to our purpose, our gifts, and our expertise, because it's hard for us to show up in our excellence when we just don't feel our best, when we're really struggling to stay afloat. And in that space of trying to control everything, sometimes though, it's like we're fighting ourselves. Like even going with that imagery of floating in water, you know, when they say when you're drowning, they're like, relax, right? Because you're fighting the water and it's making it worse. And I think that's what happens when we're fighting for control. We're making it worse. And it really limits our ability to do things. It limits our ability to think straight, which means it's going to be more overwhelmed, more of that negative thinking. It makes it harder for us to like ask for help, to delegate tasks, to notice what needs attention, which again only makes it worse. So I'm going to walk you through something to help you even get this into even more perspective. So I want you to take your hand, your beautiful hands, and think of 5 things stressing you out right now, right? And for each thing, you're just going to drop a finger as you do. So whatever's stressing you out right now, right? So, you know, whether it's family, whether it's work. I've got a whole presentation that I got to go get together tonight. Whether it's all the things that's going up, that's like, oh my God, I got to go do those things, right? And whatever the next thing is, like, do that too. And I want you to hold that. That's you on a daily basis. Now squeeze that. That's you when you walk into a meeting. That's you dealing with stress. Keep squeezing. That's you trying to get to the next thing. That's you being overly critical and blaming yourself for things and getting into the shouldas, wouldas, all of those things. That's you forgetting to laugh. Keep squeezing. It sucks, I know. That's you not eating. That's you not sleeping. That's you forgetting to pee. Now let go. What do you notice when you let go? What happened? What happens? What do we create? Mhm. Thank you. When I let go, I can breathe. Yeah. I have space. I can relax a little. Yep. Yep. It's going to say, can anyone else resonate? But I see it there. There's less tension. Absolutely. So you can really notice and feel the difference with letting go. Right? So all day we're holding and we let go. And I want you to know that you are worth experiencing the relief. And when you do let go, you do create space. Right? So I want you to think about it. Who knows that they need to release and let more help in? Who knows that they need more space for their needs? Drop a 1 in the chat if you know that too. Yeah, I'm calling y'all out today, okay? We really can't experience this relief if we're trying to control like all the things outside of our hands, really, right? But we can work on what is under our control. And I think that's the biggest thing. Sometimes we put our energy into all these like bigger factors that's really hard to navigate. And then we miss like what's in front of us, what's in our control, what can I actually handle, what can I actually do, what will actually be impacted by my action and my response. So in some cases, it means letting go of things or even people or positions so that you can really feel emotionally safe to let go. So there may be like layers to your letting go. You may have to like clear some space and some things so that you really feel okay to let go. That may have to happen. For some of us, it's just about getting out of our own way so that people can support us. Sometimes people don't know how to help you because you are holding on so tight and you're not even saying like what you need or how they can show up for you, right? And then we get mad at them because we're like, okay, well, you should have known X, Y, and Z. Well, how am I supposed to know that if you holding it so close and you haven't communicated that? Okay. So we're gonna keep coming for y'all today. Let's get to these prompts because we have to look at this stuff internally and really connect to us, right? A lot of times we do a lot of external, I'm gonna say complaints because it's about everybody else, right? You know, this is doing this, I wish this wasn't, this is happening, this is happening, this is happening. But there may be truth to that, but we want to look at what am I responsible for that I can work on? How can I create space for myself? What are the actions that I can do so that at least even in the chaos, I can create this space for myself that just makes it easier for me to work, for me to care for myself, for me then to care for other people because I've created that space, right? So your first prompt is going to be, where am I holding on too tight? I want you to look at that. And where do I need to practice releasing control? Remember, practice has been like our key word throughout this. Is it's not going to be a night and day change for you. It's going to come down to practice. So where do I need to practice releasing control and maybe sharing some responsibilities? Or maybe for you, it's letting people go, honey. So where do I need to dismiss some people or some tasks so I can create more space for self-care? Okay, so that's going to be your first one. Oh, so the next question, let's see. What am I missing that I do have control over that I can work on tonight, that I can work on this weekend, or maybe I can work on next week? Like, what you really waiting for, girl? It was that hard. Like, let's get to work now. So this might be a good way for you to start to think about that. And even if it's, you know, I'm gonna start working on it now, I'm gonna think about it now, I'll do a little bit now and come back to the rest later. This just brings it into your awareness, right? And we can't do anything without awareness. So that is a good one for you. And we'll give you our third one for today. Ooh, third one kind of wraps all of it together, which is, what is your commitment to yourself after this experience to really support your personal growth and self-care? And I think you can think about that more when you really thought about, okay, where am I holding on and where do I need to let go? Because then that creates space for your commitment. It creates space for you to do the thing that you wanted to give yourself permission for. It gives you space to spend time in awareness of like what's coming up inside of you so you can tackle that, the critical pieces of you and support your inner self and what you want, right? So it's like all of this really builds together to position you to better care for yourself. Okay, so you guys have 3 great questions there. I'm going to give us our working music. So it might be about like 3 minutes or so. So take the time, get a piece of paper. Don't wait. Open up a Word document or get a notepad on your phone or something like that. And just use the time. Because otherwise we're talking about we're too busy, we don't have time. And we could keep at that, but then we don't ever really grow. We don't ever really change. Life passes and we're in the same position. Okay, so hopefully everyone has had a chance to work on the prompts. This was actually really dope and I'm glad I did it in this way. So This is for those of us that participate in the challenge. This is day 4 of the challenge. For those of you watching now, I'm actually wrapping this into an episode for our YouTube channel, Courage Over Fear. And I think if you've done the exercises today, it's an awesome series of exercises to think about how to let go of control. If we can learn how to let that go, we get to create space for more of what we want. I would love if you can connect with me and share some of your reflections on some of the prompts that was shared today. You guys watching now didn't have privy to what was shared in the room, but there was some really good feedback from the women that joined the experience and really touched on, what it means to let go of control, and letting go of that sometimes is hard because they're worried about things like other people's feelings. But we talked about this dynamic of, if you stay in that space, notice what it does for you. And if that outcome is not what you want, then you've got to rethink that dynamic. And the best way to rethink that dynamic is to go back to some of the skills that we've talked about. So maybe we've got to hang out with yourself a little bit and become more self-aware. Think about the information that your body, your mind, yourself is trying to give you when it comes to trying to protect other people, or whether it's people pleasing. Look at that space and see what's really coming up for you, and think about how you can honor that. Think about the thoughts behind that and whether or not it's true, and how to kind of challenge that. We talked about some of that yesterday with the challenge, which was dealing with the inner mean girl, quieting the inner mean girl. Some of her showed up in the space today as we were processing as well. A share that I really, really loved is sometimes when that inner mean girl does show up, even in this space of control and fear, and she's got a lot to say, it's about being with her, but even still in compassion. Silencing her doesn't have to be this like mean thing. I think a lot of us have been silenced and in mean ways, whether intentional or not, and we don't want to keep doing it ourselves. So one of the shares that came into the space was, really coming to her and calming her down, because she's mean for a reason. She's scared for a reason. She's trying to prevent you from doing something for a reason, from taking the risk or having a conversation or leaving a position or switching or pivoting. She's there for a reason. Like we talked about, like she's been your ride or die for a minute. So we've got to look at why she's there and honor her, and in a way show her some respect too, because she is looking out for you. Just sometimes she's overactivated and giving you signals to respond in a way that you may not need in that moment, if that makes sense, right? And it'll make a lot of sense if you would for you, and just keep following the channel, and you may get a little bit more nuggets to help you put things together for yourself, so you can really show up in the way that you want to. You can care for yourself, love yourself, and show up in a more dynamic way, and really keep going, and not in a way that we push to burn out, but in a way where we show up more responsibly for ourselves, because we are caring for ourselves. We're giving ourselves what we need because we're really slowing down to notice. We're really letting go of the things that we're holding tightly to that really isn't serving us, right? So I really hope you guys got a lot of notes and nuggets from this episode. It's now an episode. It was really just a dynamic experience. And it's one that I hope that I can, bring into different spaces. If you have an organization or school or something you belong to that you're like, we need to work on this as a group. We need a more dynamic speaker. Like, hey, I'm here for it. Otherwise, if you know that you need this more personally as you continue to work on your mindset, so you can show up better for your business, you can show up better as a leader, as an executive, and these are the things that you struggle with, because you're not alone. So if you need some help navigating that, like, I'm here for that as well. I know a lot of this probably resonated with you today. I can tell you, you're not alone in navigating this space of control and fear, and navigating this space of trying to prioritize ourselves and what self-care really means. And on a deeper level, it's working on all these different parts of us, okay? I'm Amanda Flood. Such a pleasure just serving you guys and sitting in this space with you. I do hope that we can continue to connect. Our next big event is Bali, and we are planning that and also booking that now. So you may want to connect with us, look out in the comment section or whatever to see when the next Q&A is. And if you can't make a Q&A, you can always find information on the main site, which is renewconnectrestore.com, www.renewconnectrestore.com. A lot of what was experienced during the 4-day of the challenge, I'll be bringing that into the space as well. I think I'm definitely going to do more of like the breathing exercises because that was such a hit and so needed. So, baby, if you want to work on that professional development, build yourself, right? Maybe you need to tell your company to sponsor you because it is a professional development experience. And you are going to be in the company of a licensed therapist as well as an executive coach. Like, tell them that. I'll write your receipt, honey, so you could take it to them and they could cover your expense to this experience. But there's work to be done. So I hope that you continue practicing all the things that you have been given in this self-care experience or that you were given just by embracing the episode today. There's always going to be information for you. So thank you for that. I will see you guys at our next episode. I will see you at the next Q&A for Bali. I will see you in Bali. We're just doing some really good things, and like I cannot wait to just be there with you in person. All right, absolute pleasure, guys. Take care. I'm Amanda Flood.